Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. I'm cracking, I'm sorry right now. I just watched a funny video. Sorry, I should have taken a minute. Jeez, guys. What a day. So I speak all the time. Snow removal and of the such is one of my many responsibilities these days. I usually have a crew with me. The crew was trying to go out and do it yesterday morning because they had plans this weekend, and I'm like, guys, it's not right. You can't go salting and shoveling the day before the snow gets here. You're just trying to milk the boss. So I decided to make a point of just showing these guys how ridiculous they are. I gave them all the weekend off, and guys, we only had like 4 or 5 inches of snow. But I went out and took care of it myself today. I didn't do the full route, all the pro bono stuff, because again, it was really only 2 inches when I went out, but we ended up getting about 4 inches. I suspect if it continues to flurry tonight, then probably tomorrow morning, I will probably go hop on my machine and go clear everything. And I'll probably have to go back out one more time. But, it's been a really good day. Further, I drove up to Lawrence in the middle of the storm to thaw out some frozen pipes for one of my customers. And, guys, we're not even going to get into that. I show up at a house and the guy's like, is there something we can do to keep this from happening? And I've never been to this property before. It's new property, regular customer. I go into the back hallway and a section of ceiling had fallen down and there's a 10-inch by 10-inch hole straight to outside, right where the pipes are coming up. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you'll wonder why this froze? I can't believe it took this long. Guy's slumlord, right? And I told the guy, listen, I'm going to make this thing right so you people have heat and hot water, but, like, it's going to cost you. Like, you got to take better care of your tenants, man. It's insane. Anyway, guys, we're going to get into the reading today. I'm excited to do this reading because I've been asked to speak at a Zoom NA meeting tonight, and the topic of my speaking is going to be the Just for Today NA meditation. And I'm like, well, fantastic. I'm going to do a video based on that this afternoon, so it'll be pertinent, it'll be relevant. And it's one of the reasons I came in when I did. Normally I'd be out there still, but again, recovery has to come first. So I took care of, made sure everybody can get out of their properties, everything's salted, shoveled, safe, and plowed. And I'm going to come take care of my recovery stuff. And if I have to go back out after the meeting tonight, then so be it. Like, that's the beauty of life today, guys. I don't look at that, and we'll talk about after the reading. This is an absolutely fantastic reading, and it's one that applies to me. So Just for Today NA meditation reading is titled, This is Not a Test. This is not a test. We have found a loving, personal God to whom we can turn. Some of us come into recovery with the impression that life's hardships are a series of cosmic tests designed to teach us something. This belief is readily apparent when something traumatic happens and we wail, oh, my higher power is testing me. We're convinced that it's a test of our recovery when somebody offers us drugs, or a test of our character when faced with a situation where we could do something unprincipled without getting caught. We may even think it's a test of our faith when we are in great pain over a tragedy in our lives. But a loving higher power does not test our recovery, our character, or our faith. Life just happens, and sometimes it hurts. Many of us have lost loved ones through no fault of our own, or even love through no fault of our own. Some of us have lost all our material wealth, some of us over and over again. and some have grieved the loss of our own children. I haven't been through that, and I feel bad for anybody that has. But again, guys, life can be terribly painful at times, but that pain is not inflicted on us by our higher power. Rather, that power is constantly by our side, ready to carry us if we cannot walk by ourselves. There is no harm that life can do to us that the God of our understanding cannot heal. And the affirmation is, just for today, I will have faith that my higher power's will for me is good and that I am loved. I will seek my higher power's help in times of need, right? And guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while, that pretty much sums up exactly my experiences through this first 13. As a matter of fact, today is exactly 13 months. I realized that earlier when I was asked to speak. So when I go back, as a matter of fact, one of my early video titles was Staying Strong While Tested. So clearly, I was feeling the same way, and it just shows the progression of working your program and continuing to learn, and that's beautiful. And I see so many people that don't. So many people get to that first stage and they just stagnate or plateau. And if you can do that and put down the drugs, then I applaud you, right? But I'm fortunate in the fact that I've turned my life over to recovery, that I'm trying to make my comeback public and using it to let others know that they can. So in order to do that, I constantly read, and again, I do these videos every day. I learn a lesson every single day, guys, and I do these readings every day. Believe me, first and foremost, it's for myself. And I learn from them. I see how they apply in my life every day, and because of that, I've gotten the beautiful, just the beautiful increasing amount of information and knowledge, and as I have, my outlook has changed. The way I see things has changed, and it's continued to grow, and that's why I say I expand constantly in this program. And now I see that, yeah, I remember the day I did that video. As a matter of fact, I remember it clear as the day. It was my final day of working for the old boss, and it was my final paycheck, and it was a drug dealer, a crack dealer that I owed money to, that was hounding me, and I knew he wasn't going to stop calling, over penance. It was like $50. It was insane, but I was terrified. I did not want to go see him because I knew, or at least in my mind, the normal way things go would be he's going to offer me free drugs, and I just didn't want to. And not that I felt I was going to take them, but I was terrified. It was the first time, and in my history was I didn't do well when someone offered me drugs. Bad things happened. So I spoke on it, I prayed on it, and I literally, on the way over there, I was praying to God. I'm like, God, please give me the strength to walk through this. This is something I knew I had to get rid of him because I needed to be able to delete his number, and he just kept calling my phone, and I wasn't going to go give up my phone number over $50. So I just took that $50 out of my final paycheck, and I went and met with him, and lo and behold, because again, I did it in faith, and I did it in God. Furthermore, it was a tough day because my boss was riding me all day. He was upset that I was leaving the company, and it just was it was just one of those days. Oh my God, this can't end fast enough. But so I go and I pay this guy off, and again, first thing he says is, "Holy shit, you look healthy," because I was already up like probably 40, 50 pounds at that point. And he's like, "Hey, I know you're not trying to do nothing, so I'm not offering you nothing. I appreciate you paying me off. Good luck to you." And he walked away, and I'm like, wow, I was shocked, and I actually had some respect for him for that. And again, deleted his number, blocked his number, and just moved on. But back in those days, I was still at that point where I was still developing my relationship with my higher power, and I did think it was a test. And I see it now as no, it was just a natural reaction to owing somebody money that wanted their money. Like it's gonna come up, and it's come up a million times since, and I've handled every one of them beautifully. Now, as you guys hear me talk, this perfect example. When I did my video on Wednesday night, and I told you guys about that sewer trap job that I was doing, and I had some apprehensions because there was a situation where things could have gone very dangerously wrong. And again, I was aware of it, and I was ready for it, and I had all the contingencies covered. But I also brought God in and asked Him to walk with me through that job, and then boom, I got supernatural results. Because that's what I see today, guys. I see that life is. It can be a painful thing. There's an ebb and flow. There's going to be good experiences. There's going to be bad experiences. I'm going to have phenomenally good days, and I'm going to have phenomenally hard days, and I do. As a matter of fact, Wednesday was the day I was walking around feeling like I was being carried by angels everywhere I went because the way that job went. Thursday morning, I woke up sore as hell. I could barely get out of bed. Like, literally, I got so excited, and I wanted to get on top of the job because I've been putting my attention on it that I didn't realize just how much strength I carry. Although I go to the gym, and you guys know, I'm bench pressing 380 pounds. I hadn't dug a hole in a basement floor to do a house trap in probably 18 months. I gained 75 pounds, and I'm a lot stronger. So I started digging, and guys, that's why one of the reasons the job went 4 hours, 5 hours early is because instead of taking 4 hours to dig a hole, it took me 25 minutes. But I also strained my back, and I woke up sore, and I could barely move on Thursday. And again, I didn't look at that and say, oh, well, God showed me. No, I said, that's me. Like, I chose to dig that hole as enthusiastically, and I knew I was because halfway through digging the hole, and it's, 15 degrees outside, I was pouring sweat and down to a T-shirt. But I was going at it, and I accept that. Like, that's just, and it's a small thing. But I'm saying, guys, I understand that my God is in my life to answer my prayers. Not that He's here for me specifically. He's here for all of us, guys. We are all an extension of Source. But my relationship with my higher power has grown to that he's there for me. He gives me strength. He gives me answers. He gives me clarity. He gives me direction. He gives me the ability to overcome my own mistakes, the hardships created. Because keep in mind, guys, when we say self-will, and I prefer to call it free will, but it's, same thing. We have free will, and so does every other human being on this planet. So inevitably, not only that, but then we are communal animals, and we fall in love with people, and we develop relationships, and things come and go, and everybody has a difference of opinion and different priorities, and then people die. Like it's inevitable. The only guarantee in life really is that we're gonna die eventually. And I believe energy, and that's the thing, guys. The human body dies. Energy does not. I don't know what the afterlife is. I don't know. I don't pretend to, but I know there's something, and I know that because I carry wisdom that I don't have. I have no I was born with some innate wisdom that I have no earthly ability to have, and I can only believe that was carried over from whatever, whether it's past life, I don't know. I don't. It's one of the beauties of I don't need to know. That's called faith. I have blind faith that God is putting the right things in my life, and that He's going to carry me through life's experiences. They don't have to all be good, and if they were, I wouldn't know, because there'd be no comparison. Ebb and flow, good and bad. That's part of it. Now, further than that, guys, when you align yourself with your higher power, you can certainly make the presumption of what you control in life better by being a better person, by surrounding yourself with better people, by staying away from things that are bad for you, avoiding things that cause you pain, so you can minimize the amount of tragedy within reason. But we're still going to have it, guys. My brother called me this morning, and him and his sons, his wife and his daughter, are away at a dance competition. He was home with his twin boys, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, the carbon monoxide detector started going off, and he was concerned, and thank God he was. So we called the fire department. Fire department come out, and sure enough, they were getting high readings. My first concern was I put the tank with. There's only two appliances in his house that can create carbon monoxide. One being the Navian tankless water heater that I installed, and the other one's this cooktop. So when I saw that text, guys, oh my God, I called my brother immediately. I'm like, talk to me. And he's like, no. He goes, very first, because when I first went, one of the reasons I went to replace it was the first thing I noticed when I got there, I looked up on the ceiling, and the exhaust venting from the original tankless that was there had become disconnected, and I was horrified. I'm like, Matthew, and thank God the way it's designed, it's a crawl space and there's a vent, so it's being sucked outside naturally. But that could have been an incredibly dangerous situation, and we rectified it. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I knew I did the right thing, but let me call him and just make sure he's aware. And he's like, no, the very first thing I did was check that. And he goes, and Patrick, just so you know, I also had the fire department, and they said, no, that's the lowest readings in the house. So what we did was great. They disconnected the cooktop, and they vented the house, and it went away. And then they closed everything back up and relit the cooktop, and they never got a high reading again. So they don't know what it came from, but thank God he's got the detectors, and that's part of life. Like, my brother is one of the most, he lives the most clean, honest life. He's he's never had a drink. I mean, he's had drinks. He's never had a cigarette in his life. He's never done drugs. Like, he's just one of the most God-loving, straight living, clean people in the world, and yet, he still had a carbon monoxide issue in his house. That's not God punishing him. No, these are just natural parts of life, and if anything, God was there to make sure he didn't sleep through it and heard the alarms and made him make the right decisions. Part of that's his intelligence, and part of that's intelligent design. God. And that's the beauty of it, guys, and I see that today, and I'm so grateful that my relationship with my higher power has progressed in such a manner that I see that today, and I understand that I put myself through tests because I make mistakes and I make bad decisions, and one of my character flaws is I tend to see the best in people, right? I don't always, and I'm aware of this now, and I try to do better on it, and I try to protect myself a little more because I have resources worth protecting today. But so many times in my past, I would let somebody into my life not seeing major red flags because I have a tendency to want to forgive those, because I always came with a lot of red flags myself, and people had forgiven mine and given me a chance. And then more often than not, just like, it's happened recently with somebody that was from my old life that came in the program that just, first 3 days promised me the world, and I saw a possibility there, and then it just fizzled out. But again, I gave a little and shut the door. And even then I called it a test, but it wasn't a test of my God. It was a test of myself, seeing, will I acknowledge the red flags and cut the cord before somebody comes into my life to rob me blind. And I did, and I'm proud of myself for that. So yes, life has tests. Everything can be a test, but it's not a test from your higher power. It's a test of yourself. Are you working your program? Are you growing? Your higher power is there to guide, to love, to protect, to carry you when you can't walk. Like literally, God has given me the strength to see that now. And when all those years I wanted to call myself an atheist because I was a man of science, and then I didn't have to align myself, and because that's one thing about me, guys. I had literally, even in my drug, the worst of my drug days, I had stopped smoking pot because pot would slow my mind down enough that every time I'd get high on weed, I was doing crack, coke, heroin, and everything else like nothing. But when I smoked marijuana, it would slow me down enough that I'd start like acknowledging things in my life, and I'm like, whoa, I'd get major anxiety and a little panic attack. And it wasn't the weed; it was me, acknowledging like I'm doing so much wrong in my life. Like at any given moment, the shoe could drop and all this could be taken away. And because so much so that I had to deny God because I knew God would see it, and it's just asinine. And I wouldn't say a prayer because I was terrified of getting results that I'd seen in prayer. And so, boom, that's faith. Like I believed all along, and I was able to see that today. And I don't blame God for anything that happened. If anything, and as I say so often, I'm incredibly grateful for my loving God because, guys, I did stupid things like drive my pickup truck blackout drunk at 4 in the morning, getting chased by the police and slammed into a telephone pole at 150 miles an hour. 84 Chevy Blazer. I got launched through the windshield. The cop came up. I was trying to run, and he tackled me to the ground, thinking I broke every bone in my body. I came to. My face was destroyed, but I didn't break a single bone. Like that was God saving me. When I could name off literally 10,000 stupid things that I've done that God kept me whole from. Running my mouth in prisons and just everything I've done. All the mistakes, all the self-will run riot that I lived for 40 years. I've come through it, and I'm a kind, compassionate person with an amazing set of skills, and I'm incredibly healthy. I'm not on any medications other than the Sublocade that I choose to be on. I got great blood pressure. My body fought off hepatitis C. Like, I'm incredibly blessed. That's my loving God, giving me a physical body that could withstand my own self-will run riot, and that's beautiful. And I'm incredibly grateful for that today, and I see that, and I give reverence to that. And that's part of why I invite so much more beauty into my life, because I show my loving God every day that I'm looking for His direction. I'm following His direction to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect. God is. I'm not. And I'm just trying to do the best, and I'm trying to help as many others along the way as I possibly can. And that just invites blessings upon blessings upon blessings into my life. Now, it doesn't mean I don't hit traffic. I wasn't stuck in a snowstorm. I don't have to get up and do things when I'm sore and I'm tired. No, of course not. That's life. I chose the career I'm working. I've chosen the life that I'm living. But God's seeing me through it and giving me the strength and the power that I don't have to face all the challenges of this life. And that's because God is a loving, caring, kind, compassionate, forgiving, never-ending power source in my life. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. Guys, that is a video for today. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.